Okay, so today we are talking about why you shouldn't post your shop link in random places. And random places can include random Facebook help groups, because we do actually get quite a lot of people who post like, can you guys give me shop feedback in our Facebook group? And this is kind of to answer that question. Because we do get quite a lot of people who are like going from Facebook group to Facebook group, desperately trying to get some kind of feedback on their shop. And I do completely understand why, because like, you know, when you're running a shop on your own, sometimes it can get quite overwhelming and you're not really sure what you should be doing, or even when, you know, if you're on the right track. So I can completely understand why, and this live is to basically answer that question as well as a couple of others as well. So random places, I mean, let me know, guys, in the comments, like, what are some random places that you've linked your shop? So we could be talking, as I said, Facebook groups. We could be talking like community boards. We could be talking like even sending your, and this does, you know, account for that as well. But even when sometimes a lot of you guys have gotten like approached by influencers or bloggers or vloggers, and you're like not sure whether to send your items to them or not, this does cover that as well. Rocking Star, Rocking Horse. Wow, that's a long name. I like that. I can pronounce that one. Samantha Jane Embroidery, hello. So random places, random places. I'm trying to think of, I had like a whole list and then now I can't find the document, but basically it's just why you shouldn't be linking your Etsy shop everywhere you can. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, because a lot of the times you're told that you should link it everywhere you possibly can, but that is actually a big mistake, right? So let's get into it. So the first obvious big thing, which I think is maybe not obvious to a lot of you guys when you're thinking, well, I just want to get as many like eyeballs as I possibly can. Elizabeth Wickholm says WhatsApp status. Yes, that's a random place. The English Print Co says YouTube comments, videos. Yes, group chats. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Sophie. So the first big thing is that it will damage your conversion rate. Okay, so how I like to explain conversion rate is that you've got to protect it. It's a sacred number, okay? Because, and I mean, especially if you're in HBSA, you already know this, which is the Handmade Bosses Success Academy, which is my signature course. And if you want to learn more about that, and you want to learn more about conversion rate, I have lots of stuff. If you're watching on Instagram, link in bio, I have a 90-minute free training. We've just redone it. So about 3-4 days ago, we uploaded a brand new version of the training. So if you've actually watched it before, please go back and watch it again, because we've made it even more valuable. There's a free 90-minute training. Okay, link for that is in link in bio. If you're watching on Instagram, and if you're watching on Facebook, it is in the description. And if you're watching on YouTube, link for that is in the description box below. So if you want to know more about conversion rate, you completely can with that training. I would 100% recommend watching it, even if you're a brand new Etsy shop or if you've not even got one yet, okay? But conversion rate is like this sacred number, and it's the number that a lot of you should be making decisions based off of, okay? But how can you make decisions based off of that number if you are inviting every Tom and Dick into your shop that perhaps aren't very, you know, they're not really in your target market? So a good example of this is, let's say, for example, that you sell jewelry for women, okay? You don't want to be posting your shop link where it's going to get clicks and views from men in their late 40s when your target demo is women age 18 to 25, right? Does that make sense? Because what that is actually going to do is it's going to severely bump up your you know, the amount of people that bounce off of your Etsy shop, and therefore severely decrease your conversion rate. Now, as we know, Etsy listing conversion rate does play a massive, massive role in where you rank, because obviously Etsy want to push those listings that are proven to sell really, really well, correct? So therefore, if you're posting your Etsy shop link in places where your target market are not hanging out, and you do have some control over this, and I will explain this in a second, then you are doing yourself a disservice. You really, really are, okay? Hi, Handmade by Nicolan. Hello, hello, hello. It's Only Words UK. So, honestly, guys, Joseph's always been very careful with posting my links. Watch one of your videos, possibly live very soon after I launch my shop gold. Oh, amazing. I'm really glad that was helpful. But you really, 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 guys, you do not want to be posting it everywhere, because it will drive down your conversion rate. And your conversion rate is something that, again, you've got to be making quite a lot of decisions about your shop based off of that number. Not just that number, of course, but conversion rate is it's a way to grade the performance of your shop with a numeric value. Okay, now as for an ideal conversion rate, it really does depend based on your industry, but anything between 1% and 3% is the industry average. And I know that quite a lot of you guys are getting higher than that. And that is, to be honest, as a direct result of how Etsy works. That's why I really recommend using Etsy, because actually they do a really good job with very little effort for you guys of increasing your conversion rate by making sure that the cart has a little pop-up, the buy now button is massive, you know, it emails people when they've left something in their basket and all of that type of thing, okay? So basically, the main thing that, if you take nothing else away from this is the main thing I want you guys to actually take away, is that it will damage your conversion rate. Okay, now that's not to say that if you have built a group, and we call this our home hub. I'm not going to be getting into that today, but our home hub, which could be your Instagram social media network, it could be Pinterest, it could be Facebook group, whatever it is, wherever your home base is, where you are building a kind of your tribe of ideal target audience, right? That's not to say that you should not post your link there, because you absolutely should, because you've built it. You know that your ideal target audience is within that group, Instagram account, whatever, okay? But that then kind of goes on to other things where, you know, if you're posting your Instagram link, your Facebook group link everywhere, and you're getting the wrong people into your group, you then have a problem, which is why I never say for you guys to buy Instagram followers, because that will make your account go and, you know, all of that type of thing, because there are a lot of services on Fiverr and Upwork and all those kinds of places where they're like, we're going to give you 10,000 Instagram followers for like $30, and you're like, yeah, shortcut, but it doesn't work like that. Murphy Magic says, I'm getting 0 orders. What am I doing wrong? So this live is more about the like why you shouldn't link your Etsy shop link in random places. If you want to know more about that, I would recommend watching my free training, the 90-minute one, because that's going to talk about how to increase your conversion rate, therefore increase your sales. So link for that is in the bio. So I hope that helps. And also there's lots of other lives that I've done about increasing your sales and all that good stuff as well. So it will damage your conversion rate. That's the main thing, is that you want to protect that number as much as you can. And also what will happen is that if you're, because in HBSA, and if there's any students here, give me a shout out. But we do teach you how to use your Etsy shop as a funnel, as a system to bring people into your brand sphere, if you like. And if you're linking your Etsy shop in all the wrong places, what's going to happen is that you're going to build your home hub, you're going to build your Instagram account, you're going to build your Facebook group, but it's going to be filled with the wrong people, right? And then what's going to happen is that you're going to post things out all the time and be getting absolute crickets. A good kind of rule of thumb is that 10% of your following across all social media networks, if you've got an engaged an engaged group of people, you should be getting 10% engagement from your followers. Okay, that's a good rule of thumb. If you're getting more than that, amazing, fantastic, well done you. If you're getting less than that, you may have to start looking at the kind of group you've created created, kind of Instagram account you've made, and kind of see whether you're attracting the wrong people that, although they love your Instagram account, maybe they don't really love your products, okay? So you'll end up building a home base that's filled with the wrong people. Now your home base, as I said, it could be like an email list. Let's say that you are, like posting your Etsy shop link everywhere you can, and you're getting loads of people on your email list, but they're not the right people. Therefore, what's happening, guys? Can you guess? When you're sending out email blasts, you're just not getting anyone buy or anyone view or anyone click or open or whatever. Nothing is resonating with those people. Does that make sense, guys? Give me some thumbs up, hearts, whatever, just to let me know that that makes sense, okay? So what does that mean in turn? It's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 step. What does that mean? So what does it mean if we're building a home base that is filled with the wrong people? Well, it means that your engagements for your social posts will go down. And what do those social media networks do? If engagement for your posts go down, you get pushed further down on people's home feeds. So let's say, for example, that, you have a Facebook group that you're trying to grow, right? And you're thinking, yes, that's going to be my home. I'm going to put my all into it. And that's why we always say build one. Don't ever go on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, because let's say you've got 4 social media accounts. You're putting 25% of yourself in each one of those. You're not putting 100% of yourself into one, which is really what it takes to grow that home hub, right? So what happens, let's say that if you're building a Facebook group and you're posting your Facebook group link everywhere, maybe they're coming through your Etsy shop, maybe they're just coming directly through the group link itself, then what's happening is that you are getting people into your Facebook group that aren't really your people, they aren't really your perfect tribe, okay? And, again, bosses, this doesn't mean that you need to have a group with 5,000 members in it. Really, all it takes is 100 true fans. And that is the bottom line of it. Students in our course, and I'm laughing because there's one particular student that I know off the top of my head that has 100 people in her Facebook group, and she's making a ridiculous amount of sales just through the Facebook group because they are 100 people that are true fans. And she knows every time she posts, here is a new product drop, here's my new product launch, she's getting a 30-40% conversion rate just from those 100 people. So it's about the quality, not the quantity. Let me just catch up on comments. Getting some hearts. So helpful. Yes, thank you for this. Amazing. Can we watch these lives again, please? Yes, what I will say is that Instagram's going through a bit of a change right now where you can't upload IGTVs. So if in doubt, they will be on my YouTube channel for you guys to watch again, okay? So if you wait until a couple of hours for it to download and upload and all that good stuff, they will be available to rewatch on our YouTube channel or in the Facebook group. Julie says, yeah, making sense so far. Fantastic. Amazing. So you really, and this doesn't just go for Etsy shop links, as you can see, it has a knock-on effect of everything else. And I just find that a lot of the times you guys are saying, why aren't I making sales when I've got 5,000 people on my Instagram or this or that? And I'm well, it's because the quality of the people that you've got, they're not your people. So what's going to happen when you post links, when you're going to, even when you go live, or if you do launches where you're doing 5 days worth of posts in a row, you're not gonna hit home for those people. You're not going to attract them. Sunflower Creation says, yes, I'm not a big fan of those engagement pods where you follow for follow. Yes, they are the worst. Honestly, guys, it makes me cringe. And the really sad thing about it is that I see a lot of Etsy gurus, I'm doing air quotes here if you're listening somewhere else, where they will do a follow for follow thing in their groups, email lists, Instagram accounts. And while that, while you're kind of doing it and you're thinking, oh, that's really nice of them, yeah, I'm gonna get follows, it's gonna really kill you in the long run, because you're gonna have to go back and do twice as much work to get those people, those wrong people, to engage with your post and to engage with your products and your shop and all that kind of thing. If I'm missing any comments, do let me know, because it's going up really, really fast. So if you let me know if I'm missing your comments, then do let me know. How do we find our followers? Right, well, that is all to do with target market. Now, I'm not going to be talking about that in today's live, because this live is going to be an hour long, and I want it to be bite-sized so that you guys can actually implement these things. I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that do go deep into this, and I am bringing out a new kind of masterclass for you guys that is all about this, okay, that is all focused on that, so keep your eyes out for that. And also in the 3-step framework to skyrocket your Etsy conversion rate, we do talk about target market in there as well. There's quite a big section on how to find your target market, so I would definitely recommend watching that if you haven't already, and we've recently updated it as well, so I would go and watch that. A little sip of my coffee. Joe, my Insta engagement is all over the place at the moment. Some posts have 30 plus likes within a couple of hours. Others have 3 to 4 over a couple of days. It doesn't seem to make any difference what days or times that I pop up the post. So it could be then that what's the difference between the posts that are getting those high amount of likes versus those that aren't? Is it the caption? Is it the picture? Is it the filter? Is it that you're showing your face? Because historically, and if you guys are like, well, how do I know what posts are going to like resonate? Like, yeah, as a general broad view, the post where you're showing your face and you're showing a humanized element to your business often get the highest engagement. Okay, so if you're looking for like a general rule of thumb, that is my general rule of thumb. But Joe, there's going to be a difference between the posts that I don't think it's really to do with time or day. From what I've seen, it honestly, you do get a time of day when most people are online, but the majority of the normal people out there probably only follow like 50 to 100 people, so you're gonna come up on their feed at some point. So what I would say is you've got to play detective. You've got to find out exactly what it is, and if you get really stuck with this, put up a poll on your stories. Take a screenshot of the post that did well versus that didn't do well, and maybe like 2 or 3 others that you've planned to schedule in, and just ask your people which post you like the best, right? Okay, fab, I think I've caught up on comments. Amazing. So you want to be really, really careful, in a nutshell, where you link your Etsy shop, because as we know, it's going to, make your conversion rate go on Etsy. It's going to make your conversion rate go on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, right? So the other thing is that the flip side of the coin in this, and this is why we often don't approve shop critique posts in our Facebook group, because, honestly, guys, we're here to help you. And if we approve those posts, we're not helping you. Although it seems like we're being mean in the short term by not letting you post feedback in the group. Actually, we're doing it because we know that in 6 months' time, if we allowed that post, you would be in a worse position. It would be like this big self-perpetuating cycle where you're just asking for help, getting the wrong help, which does bring me neatly onto my next point, is that if you're asking for advice in Facebook groups that are not filled with your target audience. So again, like let's say for example that you posted it in our group is filled with other Etsy shop owners. Are they in your target market? Probably like 90% of them will not be. So the advice that you get will not be the same as if you asked one of your super fans, okay? Now, we all have one super fan that for a fact, and it could be like your sister, it could be your mum, it could be your auntie, but we all have that one super fan that they're there every live you do, every post you have, every comment, there's always something from them. Now that is going to be different, right, then if you ask some randomer in a completely random Facebook group, okay? So those people will not be in your target audience. So therefore, the advice that you get is going to be completely wrong, okay? Okay, I think I've caught up on everything. Lovely. Sophie says it may be that one post was super valuable, resonated with them more. Yes, exactly. Joe says, I don't like showing my face, done it once, that's enough for a while. Last post that flopped was the monthly freebie stickers. So it could be then that maybe if it's like a member only thing, maybe that the vast majority of your followers are not members, therefore they're a bit like, I don't really care about this. If it's like a freebie that comes up every time you do an order, maybe they're just not interested in the freebie, or maybe you posted it somewhere else and they're consuming that content there, so they're thinking, well, if Joe's posted it on the Facebook group, I'm sorry that the sun's in and out, by the way, guys, it's really cloudy. Maybe if you've posted it on a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a Etsy shop update, maybe that tells you that the majority of the people on your Instagram are also within your Facebook group, therefore they don't need to consume the same content twice. That's another thing to think about. So yeah, it's a very delicate balance, which is why I do also say as well to only make one social media network or account or whatever, profile or whatever else, is because if you're only using one source to fill up your Instagram cup, your TikTok cup, your Pinterest cup, your Facebook cup, your email list cup, you're making like 5 times the amount of work, but you're actually reaching the same people. Does that make sense? So it could be, again, Joe, that actually people have already consumed that particular post and they're thinking, well, I know about that, so I don't really need to engage with it. Or maybe it's time to zhuzh it up a bit. Maybe people don't know that it's the free gift they get for that month. So put a big banner free gift with every order. Make it super super easy. I think that's something that a lot of you guys miss, is that you've got to make it really really easy for people to consume your content. Posts that have a ton of text on, that are, do you know what I mean, that are just super overcomplicated, are the kind of things that people go whoa, and their brains go red alert, red alert, there's so much going on here that I'm just gonna bounce. I'm gone. So again, if you're finding that your engagement rate on anything is very very low, there's 5 or 6 really easy things that you can do. I'm not going to go through all of them, but making sure that having a really direct call to action, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's a story or a reel or whatever the heck it is, you just got to make sure that the call to action is really clear, the purpose of the post is really clear, and it's digestible. It's not something that's gonna interrupt their day for too long, to be quite frank, right? So also as well, another thing that you guys have got to think about, and this is my last point, is that if the whole idea of us teaching you to build a home hub is that it's where you go to get feedback for all sorts of things. Look at us, right? We are always asking you guys what you want to see, what style of post you like, or what do you want the next Monday momentum live topic to be. We're always putting a poll up in our groups because we've built a home hub of people that we know that are going to be consuming what we create. Therefore, we need to get feedback from you guys. And if you're building your home hub full of people that are not really in your target audience, then you're not going to get accurate feedback. And it's why, again, we often say it's fine to ask for general feedback. Let's say if you're popping in our group, do you like this photo or that picture? It's kind of generic, and I still wouldn't recommend it, but again, it is quite generic, and the human eye can kind of detect what they like the best, right? But if you're saying, how much would you expect to pay for this particular art print versus this one, that is a very loaded question. It's a very important question. Therefore, I would actually save that for a group filled with your target audience. So, homework. Let's set you guys some homework. Okay, so what I would say is I want you guys to go and audit where you are linking your Etsy shop. Okay, and then I would also go into your Etsy stats or your website stats, because I'm not just an Etsy coach, I'm actually a handmade business coach. Okay, so I coach people who sell on Shopify, on Wix, on Squarespace, and Etsy alike. Okay, so go onto your stats, whether that's Google Analytics, your Etsy stats, whatever it is, and I want you guys to see where you're getting a lot of traffic from, okay? And then I want you guys to go and audit where exactly you're placing your link, okay? And I actually want you to ask yourself this question: are people that are going to be seeing this link in my target audience? Really, honestly, truthfully, is at least 80% of the people in this group, space, whatever, where you're posting your link, are they in my target audience? If the answer is no, I would get that link out of there. Really, honestly, truly, I would. Sophie says, I love the Handmade Bosses group. It's the nicest group ever. It really is. And we've spent a lot of energy, time, and money, to be frank, keeping it pure, keeping it a safe space. Now, don't get me wrong. We do get those people try to come in and they're like giving you bad advice and horrible, but we just get them out of there. We don't we have a zero tolerance policy. So it's like, you're out. But a lot of groups don't do that. A lot of groups just kind of leave it to its own devices, and that's okay. So yeah, honestly, if you guys are watching this and you're not part of the Handmade Bosses group, it's free. It's a Facebook group. It's a support group for you guys. So the link for that will be, if you're watching on Instagram, it will be in the link in bio. YouTube, it'll be down below in the boxy box. And on, if you're watching in a Facebook group, then you're in the Facebook group. So thank you very much for joining. So yeah, guys, I really hope that helped. And I hope it kind of like it kind of put the blinders off a little bit to, you know, that advice that you get where it's like, put your business everywhere. Well, it's not really the case. It's actually, you've got to be very strategic as to where you place that. And even if you're like not really sure about what I've said and you're thinking, I don't know, I think this is working for me, then what I would say is go and do a test, right? Now, I'd be very cautious about doing this because it can, especially if you've got an Etsy shop and you're wanting to get your shop rank up, this could bring it down depending on what listings they view. But I would say to go into a rando Facebook group and pop a link up and be like, there you go, then see how your shop does and then see how your shop numbers are afterwards. And I think you'll find that actually doing that is not really helped you at all, if not made it worse. So guys, that is all I have time for today, but I really hope that helped you. Homework is go and do an Etsy shop link or a Handmade business link audit. Tell me exactly, and even come in the group and actually like bob your list in the group and tell us exactly where you were linking it, what was helping you and what wasn't, so that other people can learn and, you know, kind of go, oh yeah, actually I could post my link there as well. There's room for us all to win in the handmade business game. Okay, it's not a case of competition and all that kind of thing. There's room for all of us to win. Community, not competition. Okay, so guys, I really hope that was helpful. Don't forget that 90-minute free masterclass is in the link in bio or is in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. My hands are going all over the place, but you know, I'm just kind of like pointing in the screen where it would be. And the next live will be the 11th of April, and we will be talking about 3 steps to write your about section, because I know that a lot of you guys do get hung up on that. We've had a lot of questions, so we're going to be helping you write your about section. Guys, I really hope that you have a fab rest of your month. I hope that was helpful. Do let me know if it was, because it means that then I know what's helpful and what's not. But for now, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Bye, everyone.